We find that clients really are very keen to go green. Building owners and operators really have got a good head of steam behind them in wanting to achieve their greenness for their buildings, but they do face some real issues in doing so. The first is that they don't know where to go to get competent advice. The second is that often they get conflicting advice. And the third is that when they find somebody to help them, very often they don't take them all the way through the process. We've really seen this as something that CIBSE ought to help with, and so we've done a lot of work in taking our already competent members, our chartered engineers and people who know a lot about building systems and use, and giving them further training and assessing their competence to make sure that there's a cadre of really expert people that clients can turn to. And having got them all ready for the clients, we've also produced something called the Energy Centre, which is a website which allows clients to go in and see what skills people have that they particularly need and find a direct route to really competent advice. To deal with the issue on conflicting advice, we produce lots of publications, and we've got some that are centred on the needs of clients, some that are centred on the needs of our members, but the essence of all that publication is that they're industry standard guidance. They're not from a particular standpoint of a particular technology or a particular piece of equipment. They're all impartial advice about what should really be done and how to do it. And that, we hope, will help clients recognise that there is an independent view and that conflicting advice needn't worry them. And then the third thing is that in creating this cadre of really expert people to help clients, we've allowed them to actually help clients move all the way through the process. So they don't just go in, for example, and provide an energy performance certificate with a recommendations report. They give a proper recommendations report which is bespoke to a building, and then they help the client all the way through from deciding which elements they're going to implement, what program of implementation they're going to choose, and then actually hand-holding and finding the right contractors to do that for them. Well, it's not all about green bling, it's not all about perfect initial design, it's not all about refurbishment. There is a process that you need to follow to make sure your buildings are green. Of course, passive design, good low carbon design is absolutely essential. So choosing the right orientation for your building, choosing the right solar shade and choosing the right passive measures, thermal matter, whatever it's going to be, are very important to a low carbon building in operation. But there are other elements too. The specification needs to be right. It can't just be about, again, I use the word green bling, it's a popular word at the moment, but there are elements of that in many designs that we see. But what you really need is a good energy efficient design which specifies the right energy efficient equipment and systems. So that's really important. Then you have to have good construction to make sure that having done the perfect design and the perfect specification, those elements are not value engineered out during the process of construction. Having got the building up and the systems in, a really essential element is proper commissioning. And this is something that I'm afraid is often neglected. But commissioning to make sure that whole systems work together and that the building achieves its design intent is really important. And then having got all that done, the real key to a green building is operational engineering, making sure that your building is tweaked to perform perfectly. It's no good just doing the design and walking away. Really what we want to see is designers getting involved for the long haul with buildings and making sure that they deliver not just in year one, but for the lifetime of that building. And certainly operational engineering, so the business of making sure that your heaters and chillers are not working at the same time, making sure that your maintenance is adequate. This will save more carbon than putting on some of these very, very costly other elements that you don't necessarily need. So we are very keen on operational engineering. We want to help building owners and operators make sure that their buildings work in practice, and we hope that by providing a cadre of really competent people, we're going to help them do that. So if you want to have a green building, go to the Energy Centre. You'll find it an incredibly useful site. It's www.cibseenergycentre.co.uk.